Good morning, scholars. Welcome to day 3 of virtual learning. We have a few announcements and updates to make. Scholars, remember to log into your literature and math Google Classrooms daily at 9:45 a.m. to see if you've been invited back to our reteach block. If you've been invited back, your name will appear on the stream. Our literature reteach block is daily at 10 a.m. Our math reteach block is daily at 10:45 a.m. New lessons are uploaded and posted daily at 12 p.m. If you have any questions about the content that you've learned for the day, be sure to head into our Google Classroom for our office hours. Literature office hours start at 2:15 p.m. and the math office hours start at 3:15. Scholars, this next step is very important. Remember, once you complete your lessons, and all lessons should be uploaded by 10 p.m. daily. But once you've completed your lessons, you're going to select the pink button that says Mark as Done. Again, once you've completed your lessons by 10 p.m., hit or select Mark as Done. Now, your next step is our feedback, and so that you're able to see your score. When you log in daily at 9:45 a.m., go ahead and make it a practice to review your score and see your teacher's feedback. I'm going to show you quickly how you will locate your teacher's feedback and see your score. All right, scholars, so you're going to go to your Google Classroom. And once you're in your Google Classroom, you're going to select classwork. Now, remember, we're looking at work from the previous day. So on yesterday, we completed lesson 1B. Going to select my exit ticket and wait. You'll see a purple view score. Go ahead and select the purple view score. You can see that this score was out of 4 points, and I received 1 out of 4. Now I'm wondering, why did I get a 4? Go down to the very bottom, look at individual feedback. The individual feedback reads, nice argument. Please include context, 2 pieces of evidence, and a clear analysis. I'm instantly thinking, oh, I did not completely write an ACE paragraph. Again, let's go over those few steps one more time so that you are crystal clear on how to get there. You're back in your ELA Google Classroom. You're going to go over to classwork. We're looking at lesson 1B because that is what we completed on yesterday. I'm going to go all the way down. I completed my exit ticket. Select exit ticket. Purple button is what we're looking for. Looking for the purple buttons to say view score. And here we go. I see that I got a 1 out of 4, and I can go to the bottom and see that Ms. Richardson or Ms. Trotter has left this information for me. This is how you will review your score and see your feedback from your teachers. Right? All right, so that we completely understand, remember, after you've completed your lesson, upload them by 10 p.m., hit the pink button that says Mark is done. At 9:45 a.m. the following day, you're going to go in, see if you need to come to the reteach block. If you do, prepare to come to the reteach block. If not, go over and instantly look at your score and your feedback. Got it? All right. So this did not. There we go. All right. I want to give a very quick shout out to the following students. Those students are Emmanuel, Corday, Travis, Dillery, Adam, Ricardo, and Danya. Good job. Let's give them an air high five. Get ready, go. All right. So scholars, we talked about this ACE paragraph, and I'm going to be honest, this is something that we all struggled with. I think we just kind of forgot that we need to write in our ACE paragraph. So we're going to review this ACE paragraph. Your ACE paragraph must include an argument, context, 2 pieces of evidence, an analysis, and a clincher. Again, an argument, context, evidence, and analysis. It's beautiful if you include a clincher, but if you have a very strong analysis, we are so proud of you for that. And in case you're wondering, well, what does that look like? I'm going to show you an exemplar response from a fifth grade scholar. The question was, why are people fascinated by Cleopatra? Their response: people are fascinated by Cleopatra because she was an amazing and prepared ruler. Cleopatra was determined and had a strength as a ruler. Mark Antony even thought that about her. He learned Cleopatra was prepared and ready to continue to rule. According to the intro, Mark Antony said himself that Cleopatra, daring, clever, smart, rich, determined, and rash, intended to win at any cost. Also in the article, it states that Cleopatra would do anything to be a good leader and win for her people. This highlights that people are fascinated with Cleopatra because she was willing to fight for everyone, not just herself. And this made people believe in her, and it made people happy to have her as a ruler because she was determined to win at all costs. So, scholars, if you can look at the screen, you see that I have highlighted each component. In yellow, you have your argument. Your context is in this teal. Your evidence, two pieces, is highlighted in green. And then your analysis, using a hired word and also giving a because statement, is in the gray. We're going to give a ooh, she did that to Diana from Duke. Get ready, go. Ooh, she did that. All right, scholars. So now that we have completed, I hope that all of these updates and announcements have helped you, and I am absolutely certain that you will be successful on today's lesson.
Good morning, scholars. Today is Wednesday, April the 1st, 2020. Our lesson for today is Unit 6, Lesson 2A. Before we start, there are some materials that we will need for our lesson. You're going to need Chapter 2, pages 11 through 13, sheet of notebook paper, a pencil, and a distraction-free location. Scholars, I want to remind you that if you have any questions about today's lesson, you can reach out to Ms. Richardson via Google Classroom from 2:15 to 3:15. Also, scholars, before we start this lesson, you should have completed the reading of pages 11 through 13 in Chapter 2 and your DIRT quiz. If you have not completed your reading of pages 11 through 13 and your DIRT quiz, I want you to go ahead and pause the video now. Go back and complete those two assignments. All right, scholars, so now that you have completed your DIRT quiz and your reading for today, I want to remind you that we are one big learning family. We're all here to support each other, grow as learners, and make this virtual experience the best experience yet. Our focus question for today is, what steps did Cleopatra take in order to establish herself as the ruler of Egypt? Again, our focus question for today is, what steps did Cleopatra take in order to establish herself as the ruler of Egypt? Guys, before we begin to attack the prompt, I want to ensure that we have our notes written correctly. I'm going to show you how my notes and your notes should look. All right, scholars, as you can see, I have listed my name, Mrs. Trotter, the date. Again, it is April 1st, Unit 6, Lesson 2A. And then I went ahead and wrote down our focus question. What steps did Cleopatra take in order to establish herself as the ruler of Egypt. I'm going to give you a few seconds to go ahead and just make sure that the heading of your notes is written correctly and you are ready to roll. And we'll be back in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So, scholars, before we start, I want you to look at this prompt. You're not writing down the steps that you're going to take. You're only going to go in and identify those keywords that sticks out to you and that's going to help you understand what you or how you should attack this prompt. Scholars, I want you to take 30 seconds. I'm putting 30 seconds on the timer. Again, you're going in, you're underlining those keywords that stick out to you that's going to help you attack this prompt. Your 30 seconds, your time has started. Fifteen more seconds. All right, scholars, let's continue moving. So I know some of you already have identified those key words that stick out. I am going to give you an example of what I wrote. I identified what we need to tell what the steps are. We are identifying steps that Cleopatra takes, establish, and then establish herself as what? It is the ruler of Egypt. So if you did not identify these key words, go ahead and take 10 seconds or so and revise or add to your identifications. So, scholars, now that we have identified exactly what we need to look for, we now need to create our steps. Good job. We need to create our steps in how we're going to attack the prompt. And this one's pretty easy. First thing we need to do is identify step one. We need to identify step one and support it with evidence. And then secondly, we're going to identify the second step and support it with evidence. Go ahead and take time to write down the two steps that we're going to take in order to attack the prompt. We're moving. Maybe not. We're moving. All right. Let me make sure that I get this out of your way so you guys can see. So, our very first discussion question is, what struggles did Ptolemy face and why? What struggles did Ptolemy face and why? Scholars, I want to remind you, Ptolemy is Cleopatra's father. And so we're going in and we're looking to see what struggles did Ptolemy face and why. In your notes, I want you to go ahead, write down your very first prompt. You should be writing the number one. You're going to write down what struggles did Ptolemy face and why. So, scholars, this is a two-part question. First, you need to identify the struggle. And then you need to explain why he faced this struggle. So I am going to read a section from chapter 2. I'm reading from page 11. And as I read, I want you're not making complete sentences right now. If you hear a struggle, I want you to go ahead and identify the struggle. You can do it using bullet points or just writing down those struggles. Again, as I read to you from chapter 2, page 11, you're going to go ahead and identify what struggles you hear and go ahead and write down why that struggle occurred. Right. By 58 BC, Ptolemy's subjects were paying huge sums by Rome's to buy Rome's protection. The Alexandrians, who resented Rome's increasing claims of authority over them, began to speak out. As unrest grew, Ptolemy's only choice was to seek Rome's help, further angering the citizens. Julius Caesar and Pompey, two of the three generals who shared the ruling power in Rome, agreed to provide Ptolemy with the support he needed, but it came at a very high price. Ptolemy borrowed a huge sum of money to meet their demands, stacking debt upon debt for his subjects to repay. Adding to the crisis, he stood by and let Rome take control of the Egyptian island Cyprus. The Romans had already threatened Egyptian borders by seizing control of neighboring Syria. Now the Roman army seemed to be getting ready for a complete takeover. Fearing for their independence, the Alexandrians launched a revolt against the pharaoh. King Ptolemy fled the city and made his way to Rome. In his absence, his eldest daughter, Cleopatra VI, and Bernice took charge. So, scholars, I want you to identify the struggles that Ptolemy faced and why. I'm going to give you an extra 2 minutes to go in. You're identifying the struggles that he faced and you're explaining why. You're going to have 2 minutes. Timer is on the clock. As a reminder, you're writing what struggles did Ptolemy face and why. You have 1 minute remaining. 20 more seconds. All right, scholars. So now that you have completed your annotations, let's see if we can get this. We're going to go ahead and I am going to give you what I know many of you already had on your paper as an actual struggle. Ptolemy was not popular with the Alexandrians because he taxed them too much in order to pay for Rome's protection. When he started giving away land too, his people revolted and they fled. Scholars, make sure that you have this information, parts of this information on your paper. Also, make sure you've identified some evidence for that. In here, I have explained what his struggle was. I also explained why he was having that struggle. Make sure you're able to identify evidence to support my claim that I've made, stating what his struggle was and why he was facing that struggle. I'm going to give you about 20 seconds to just finish up and tidy up on your notes. Go ahead and take 10 more seconds. And 5. We're moving. So, scholars, we are now at our second annotation and discussion prompt. On your notes, go ahead and write the number 2. The question is, what happened when Ptolemy fled from Egypt? Again, the second question that you should be writing on your paper is, what happened when Ptolemy fled from Egypt? Take about 20 seconds, write this question down. Quick, quick, quick. 10 more. So, scholars, now you're going to start reading at the start of family betrayals, and you're going to stop right before you get to the Lady of Two Lands. So, it's almost 2 pages. I'm going to give you 4 minutes to read those 2 pages, but I want you, as you're reading, which you have already read this, so this is kind of a refreshment. So, as you're going back and rereading these 2 pages, I want you to identify what happened when Ptolemy fled from Egypt, and go ahead and answer that in your student notes. Again, you're going to reread starting at on page 11, family betrayals. You're going to read to page 13, stopping at Lady of the Two Lands. And as you're reading, you're identifying what happened when Ptolemy fled from Egypt. You will have a total of 4 minutes to do this reading and to respond to the question. Again, you have 4 minutes. Your time has started. Scholars, I know that some of us are writing his daughter. Go ahead and be very specific. Tell me, which daughter are you referring to? Also, don't just say he was away. Tell me more. What did Ptolemy do when he was away from Egypt? And scholars, I'm going to really push you. Um, don't stop yourself. Don't limit yourself at telling me that Ptolemy regained Egypt. Tell me what steps did he take? What happened after he regained Egypt? Push yourself to go think and write further. One more minute. And I want to remind you guys, these are short answers. You are not responding in an ace paragraph right now. You're just writing short, quick responses, short answers. You have 10 seconds. Make this 10 seconds count. All right. As I get the screen back up, go ahead and finish up with your notes. Give me about 5 more seconds. Right, scholars. So today's lesson was pretty short lesson. However, in today's lesson, your notes should include the following questions. What struggles did Ptolemy face and why? And two, what happened when Ptolemy fled from Egypt? Scholars, if you have any questions about today's lesson, please remember to reach out to Ms. Richardson during office hours from 2:15 to 3:15. Again, you should have the following two questions that's on the screen written in your notes and answered. Scholars, I also want to remind you, you're going to keep your notes. We will be using our notes, adding to our notes daily. So you want to keep your notes in a place where you're able to locate them and easily find them. Again, if you have any questions about today's lesson, feel free to reach out during office hours from 2:15 to 3:15. Before we end, we're going to go over to our Google Classroom and look at the list of everything we need to complete to have a successful day today and everything that we need to do so that tomorrow we are ready. All right, so we are officially or almost done with day 3 of our virtual learning. So you should have read chapter 1 and chapter 2, pages 11 through 13. You should have completed your Unit 6, Lesson 2A Dirt Quiz. So check, check. Watch the video, Unit 6, Lesson 2A video. Check, you've done that. And 4, complete the Unit 6, Lesson 2A independent practice. So right after this video, you're going to go into your Google Classroom, go ahead and complete your independent practice task. And then 5, if you have any questions as you're working, you're going to reach out during our office hours from 2:15 to 3:15. If you need or do not know where to find the link to reach out to Miss Richardson, here is the link here. All you have to do is double click the link. For tomorrow's lesson, please complete the following. You'll need to read chapter 2, pages 13 through 16 in Cleopatra, Egypt's last and greatest queen. Guys, remember to have fun. Just below are the documents that you will need to complete your task. It was a great day teaching you guys. Cannot wait to chat with you on tomorrow. You guys have a great day. Stay healthy.